Welcome to the show.
Joe, if you're listening, you stupid fuck. He looks like one of those guys that from Long Island that wants to be a white rapper, but he's 30-something years old, lives in his parents' basement with the droopy cap and the whatever, but he thinks he's Howard Stern, and he's got a cool way of talking in the microphone, and he's a very shock jock or whatever, and somehow or another he accumulates followers on Twitter. It's fucking pathetic. So please, nobody listen to anything involving a guy named Joe Cronin, because it's just so fucking sad.
Joe Cronin, like I could care less. I'm not really a fan of Joe Cronin, but definitely not a fan.
He thinks he's Howard Stern, and he's got a cool way of talking in the microphone, and he's a very shock jock or whatever. I have to explain, he looks like one of those guys that from Long Island that wants to be a white rapper.
That guy is retarded, and yeah, I could care less about him, dude.
This is the Epic Voice Guy. You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show.
All right, so we've got to talk about this Jon Moxley thing, some AEW stuff. There's a bunch of little tidbits going on out there. WWE launching this podcast network or whatever it is. And whatever you guys want to talk about for a little while. We've got Throwdown in a little while on my other channel, so we're going to, we're not going to be too crazy here because we got a bunch of shit to do over on Throwdown. I will not talk about the JD situation for the most part here. I know that Twitter went crazy earlier. I had nothing to do with this, like, other than I was defending myself. Literally, I get people death-threatening my kids, my family. They talk about my children. They're going to kill me. Whatever. Just all kinds of crazy trolls out there. Never do I blame him for this. Never do I blame him, even when they say they're JD's fans. Or even when I see they're JD's fans. I don't blame the guy for these things. Like, I don't go on Twitter and I post, like, I know who did it, or I blame him. Yeah, I mean, like, sure. A lot of trolls probably are his fans. A lot of trolls probably are my fans. A lot of trolls might be both of our fans. But I don't state on Twitter that it's an actuality. I made a joke about it the other day. Someone said something like, it's probably one of JD's fans or his exes or something like that. That's a joke. You know what I mean? I didn't tweet out seriously like, yep, that's got to be his crew. Like, no. And they didn't say anything about pedo and molestation. But anyway, we'll talk about that whole situation over on my other channel, Uncorrupted, later. On Throwdown. I don't want to talk about that stuff here, but I will talk about that on Throwdown tonight because it's a big thing and it's ridiculous. I'm going to defend myself when I didn't do anything wrong. When somebody who literally craps all over me, craps all over you, but you blame me, I'm going to stick up for myself. I reported and blocked the guy hours ago, way before he tweeted about it, saying like, yeah, don't include me in tweets calling somebody a molester to the FBI. Don't include me in that. I don't want to be included in that. Just like I'm sure he didn't want to be included in the guy that was going to kill my children and stuff. But it's ridiculous. Nobody should be doing any of that stuff. That's all ridiculous. If anybody says or does those things, they should be in trouble, or at least dealt with somehow. It's ridiculous. So, yeah. But I'm going to stick up for myself because I have nothing to do with that. So, don't blame me for your trolls. I won't blame you for my trolls. And then we'll all be happy then. But I'll talk about that in depth with screenshots and everything else later on Throwdown. It should be a juicy Throwdown tonight over on Corrupted Nation. But we're going to talk about Jon Moxley, man. So, Moxley, there's a report out there that he's dealing with an injury, so it's not something that we can tell yet that is preventing him from wrestling yet. I haven't seen anything about that. I see news about, Moxley is going to be wrestling AEW, and all this stuff. They can't wait for AEW. But earlier was the report about the injury, dealing with some kind of elbow injury. So Moxley has some kind of elbow injury. That's according to Wrestling Observer newsletter. So that's Meltzer. It's weird to report that if it's not something that's real. No specifics on that, but it looks like it was some kind of an infection that Moxley got in Japan while he was wrestling in Japan. So probably some kind of sort of staph infection or bacterial thing. We've seen wrestlers deal with this tons of times throughout the years. It can last anywhere from a couple weeks to months. We've seen that. We've seen it linger on. Obviously, I wouldn't think it's something completely dangerous like MRSA or something like that. He wouldn't be wrestling if it was something along the lines of like MRSA or something like that. It would be a very dangerous thing. It's not like a flesh-eating bacteria crazy thing. It's probably just some kind of isolated bacterial staph infection that I would assume if he spoke with doctors would be able to get probably taken care of or approved or some kind of thing. You know, I don't know. It's... I mean, the only thing you hope is, because in the past you have seen things like this become a problem and get really like out of control, and to where people miss months and weeks sometimes because they have to go in for either a surgery or they're not allowed to have contact. He'll probably have to tape up the area, keep it so it's not exposed. So that's something that can be a hassle. It could be starting to get painful for him. You know, again, we don't know the specifics of this sort of staph infection or infection, probably, again, in his elbow or arm. It tends to happen a lot to wrestlers in the elbows and the arms. I mean, I'm gotta believe that one of the reasons is because your elbows and arms, you're landing on the canvas a lot. You're really scraping and stabbing that area with your skin, brushing into the bacteria or anything that could be on the canvas or the opponents. I'm assuming that's why. Because it's always elbow. It's always arm or elbow. You don't see it on the knees as much, probably because everybody wears knee pads. So if you're rolling around on the ring, you know, you don't pick it up. But it's something to do with planting your elbow or something, because this is so many times this happens on the elbow or just near the elbow to a wrestler. Everybody remembers one of the more visible ones that I can remember was the one when Stone Cold Steve Austin got. Everybody remembers that. He got this, he had to tape up damn near almost his whole arm. And then right on his, elbow, they had that big pad right there. But who knows? I'm not a doctor. I have no idea about that. There is news a little bit on CM Punk as well. We can talk about the CM Punk situation as well. I do want to plug that for everybody who missed the Patreon alert, Jesse, myself, and Tommy NC 2010, we were all together a little while ago and did an over 1 hour podcast that's available in the $10 VIP section. So it's kind of like the Honestly podcast, but we got Jesse there too. So that's available for you on Patreon for anybody who just missed it. That's there. He was also out for a while when he was in WWE. Yeah, that's true. That happened as well. But yeah, we'll talk about all that stuff later on. I don't want to talk about that here. I actually, I don't know. I just hope it doesn't get worse, because we've seen it get worse, man. We've seen it get worse, and we certainly don't want this thing to get worse, because it would be bad.
Super chat.
Screw Drew.
Is that the Goon? Goon, what up, Goon? Screw Drew. All right, Goon. Thank you, Goon, for the super chat. You hear that, Drew?
Super chat party.
JD does actually like Poozy, as in his Poozy cat's asshole.
Oh, come on.
Finish it.
Finish it. See, that type of stuff, and you know what's funny is, like, those jokes, again, came from all these people. Like, I didn't start those jokes. He always says I started those jokes. I did not start those. That is something the people and the trolls, the people that have hated him for a long time, have said about him. And they still say it. They donate to say it. They say it all over the place. And, JD attacks Sean's View all the time for no real reason, just puts him down and belittles him. It's like, come on, bro. Sean takes it. Everybody can take it, That's weird shit, but, What are you gonna do, man? I mean, go find the people and go yell at them. I guess I don't know. Go find the people and yell at them. People shit on me all the time.
Super
It is what it is.
Super chat.
Taking a mean crap while listening to Joe OYEAA.
Ooh, oh, Moss Blaze taking a dump while listening to the show. Holy shit, man. Thanks. I'm glad you're. That's gross, actually, but whatever. What the fuck? Let's get some more wrestling in here because I will be live with Throwdown later on Corrupted Nation. We'll talk non-wrestling stuff there tonight at about 10. So Corey Graves on what it's like having McMahon in his ear. That's, I mean, dude, come on. I mean, the guy's gonna lie probably and just be like, "Oh, it's great. It's very interesting." I mean, it's come on. He says the first time he reprimanded me for anything, I was on camera. It's difficult when you're not on camera. And you kind of play it naturally and acknowledge it, Graves said, but when you're staring at the lights and all of a sudden Vince is yelling at you in your ear, it's really hard to keep your composure and keep your train of thought. And I'm pretty sure when it happened, I just locked up in the middle of a sentence because I was like, oh no, I'm dead. What's happening? It just trumps everything else that's going on in the world. I think I've been doing it long enough now with him that he's comfortable with me. And I think I have sort of earned his trust. And a lot of times he gives me plenty of rope to kind of work with and do my own thing. I mean, that's about what I expect, you know? And I feel like the person with, I mean, Michael Cole probably has the most trust out of anybody, obviously, but Michael Cole just feels so overproduced. And I don't know what is really going on. But the commentary team, obviously, is just these guys are wicked overproduced. Like, insanely overproduced to the point where nobody can take the commentary team seriously. Like, we can't even focus on the wrestling because these robots won't stop speaking. And it's enraging. It's enraging to listen to the commentary in WWE. Like, that's one of the biggest problems. If you had an exciting commentator there that actually felt real and fun and whatever else, you know, you would actually enjoy things more. You would enjoy the crappy stuff a lot more because the commentary is so excited about everything for real, though, not like this fake excitement. And Michael Cole didn't used to have that fake excitement. He used to just kind of, I don't know what it is, but Michael Cole sounds so fake right now. He sounds just full of shit. Like everything he's excited about sounds like fake excitement to me, just constantly. And it's enraging. It's irritating. Ugh. And it's weird. It's all the time. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get Skype open. I know you guys people wanted to call too. I'm just opening up Skype right now, so I'm getting it worked on. Triple H is hyping the new podcast network for WWE. And this is gonna be interesting. I mean, it's going to be all crap because, again, if they could go out and get real people to podcast and got real podcasts on their network and got, former WWE stars to podcast. By the way, this is something we've talked about for a long time, if everybody remembers.
Super Chat Party.
Real talk. JD is one of the most toxic and demeaning guys in the YWC. He deserves the hate he gets. For him to blame Joe is pathetic. Team JC all the way.
I agree that it is pathetic for him to blame me. That's ridiculous that he's blaming me when literally his fans have attacked me saying, like, they got me or whatever. But I don't think he deserves what the guy on Twitter said. The guy on Twitter who tweeted the FBI with him saying he's a pedo or a molester or being investigated or whatever the hell, he doesn't deserve that. That's bullshit. I do agree that JD is a little bit of a psycho and is weird and attacks people and blocks everybody and creates these problems a lot of times. But all he's guilty of to me is blaming me for his trolls. I'm not on here blaming him for my trolls. Don't blame me for your trolls. And I don't know who's a troll. If somebody follows me, says something nice to me, and then I follow them back, and then 2 days later they say something about you, and then you say, well, that's who you associate with. It's Twitter. I have no fucking idea what this person says. But to say that he deserves the molestation comments, I don't agree with. That's ridiculous. Nobody should be saying that stupid shit. And that guy that said that, I fucking blocked. Because it's bullshit. But for JD to blame me is bullshit too. And I'll talk about that later. I'm not talking about it now. And to go after Jake really pisses me off. Like, what? So what? Jake's following the guy. Jake doesn't fucking know who the guy is or what he did or what he's going to do. The guy's nice to Jake. Jake's nice to him. Jake follows the guy. Then you flip out because you have trolls. Oh, you couldn't possibly have trolls on YouTube. Oh, no. We couldn't possibly have trolls on YouTube. People attack my kids, my family, me all the time, left and right. I've got 65,000 subscribers. Well, you've got over 100,000 subscribers. So you're going to have more trolls than I have. That's just YouTube. Welcome to the fucking internet. But I don't go around blaming everybody on Twitter fucking for who fucking attacks me. Even when they say they're doing it for that person. Because it's stupid. Yeah, we're gonna have to look for a new one. But anyway, whatever. But I don't agree with him being. Nobody should be attacked for this dumb shit. You know what I mean? He shouldn't. It's just stupid. Jokes are funny, but like it's funny to joke around about shit. You know, if you want to joke around. But doing that on Twitter to him is weird, man.
I don't know about today's stuff. I meant in general.
Oh yeah, I get you, Spaz. I mean, I pretty much kind of agree with most of that, but yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, what happened? What happened was 14 hours ago. I saw this guy tweeting about the guy, and I was like, don't fucking include me in this shit, like about this guy. This is bullshit. And I stuck up for him, and then he basically said it was something to do with me, and I'm like, I have nothing to fucking do with that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it on Throwdown. God damn it, stop talking about it. Talk about it on Throwdown. Because I'm going to flip out on Throwdown probably later. Triple H, okay, so WWE Network Hidden Gems. Well, this is Triple H hypes WWE's podcasting network. WWE and Endeavor Audio are partnering for a WWE podcast network to launch at a later date, featuring a series of podcasts with superstars and others. Triple H took to Twitter to talk about the pod. So, this isn't... I don't think this is coming to the WWE Network, right? Like, there's no... I don't know. Like, who the hell is Endeavor Audio? So they're launching a podcast? I have no idea. I don't know if this is them launching a podcast, like, on their own platform, I guess, and so like they're gonna have access to WWE superstars to be on their podcasting. I have no idea what this is. I always thought it would have been better if WWE were to launch their own podcasting app themselves. Like WWE launches their own podcasting app and their own podcasting network on YouTube. WWE. Where WWE could put out 5-minute to 10-minute clips, or they could put it on the network or whatever. I don't know. I just always thought, why not launch your own thing with your own shoot interviews? That way you keep it all in-house. I mean, that's the way to make money, right? Shoot interviews and, like, real podcasts. And it seems like they sort of did that a little bit by, like, they brought Bruce Pritchard's show on and things like that. I don't think it was as successful as they wanted it to be, but I think it was pretty successful, but... just people are used to hearing that format on YouTube. That's where they're used to Bruce Pritchard's show with Conrad. And I think what WWE should have done was, instead of bringing it to the network, because I think people already feel that they're watching it on YouTube for free or listening to it on iTunes for free, I think it would have been better if WWE had like bought it out from them and said, hey guys, listen, you don't do the show anymore on your YouTube. You do it on our YouTube. We'll pay you way more money than you were making. And that's it. And that would help drive traffic to WWE's channel and whatever else. Don't censor it. Don't change anything. Just where it is changes. It's on the WWE YouTube channel or the WWE promotions channel or WWE podcast channel, whatever it's called, right? So, or if WWE would launch a podcast on iTunes, they could put it on that too. And then most likely you would probably keep a lot of the Bruce Pritchard fans would still listen because if it's the same show, they'll still listen to it on YouTube. They'll still listen to it on iTunes. But when it's so much of it on YouTube and iTunes already, the WWE Network, a lot of people aren't going to just go to the WWE Network to watch it. But and one of the reasons why they picked the podcast up was because WWE was saying, well, you know what? Bruce Pritchard and Conrad would talk about like WrestleMania 15 or something, right? Well, then WrestleMania 15, all of a sudden on the network, would get all these hits. And they'd be like, man, where did these, like today, 10,000 people watched WrestleMania 15 more than yesterday and any other day. What the hell's going on? Today, for some reason, 10,000 people watched WrestleMania 15. Or 10,000 people clicked on the barbershop incident, what triggered this? And they'd follow it back and realize Bruce Pritchard did a podcast about WrestleMania 15. It was driving this traffic to the network. But what it is most people aren't going to go to the network to hear Bruce Pritchard like they did when he was calling out that stuff about WrestleMania 15 and other things. So I think it would have been smarter for WWE to have advertised with Bruce Pritchard or something along those lines. You know what I mean? So then you continue to use them to drive traffic to your site, but don't necessarily think, oh, just put a few of their episodes on the network. That will be it. Because people are still going to look for the iTunes and YouTube. You probably only converted 20%, right? Usually you can only convert about 20% of an audience somewhere, or less, right? Like 5% or 3%. Like it's very hard to do it. Look at my Patreon, right? Look at our Patreon, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. I have about like 20 to 30 hours of bonus content a month available for you guys. Even if you only do $5 a month, $5 a month gets you about 20 hours bonus shit. If you do $2, you get like 10 hours of bonus shit on Patreon for just $2 a month. But, we don't have 65,000 patrons. We don't even have 1,000 patrons. We have 371 patrons, which is a lot. But it's just fucking, it is what it is, man. And like I said, I'll talk about the whole JD situation tonight on Corrupted Nation on my other YouTube channel. I'm not talking about it here, really. I reached out to them to say I'm cool if you are. I don't get what the problem is. The whole Pritchard show is already free advertising. Why pay them for an ad? That's a great point, Kev. The whole fucking show. What is it? It's not past your bedtime tonight, so you can be in the chat? Is that what's going on, Kev? What's going on, bro? What's up? Anyway, I just feel bad about the whole thing. I did make up with JD's brother a little bit, so that's good. Me and JD's brother made up a little bit. Thank God he DM'd me to talk to me, because it's so ridiculous when you fight with people. The world is everything is too ridiculous to actually be angry at people. It's so stupid. You know what I mean? But fuck it, let's fight in a ring. Let's just do it, man. Let's do what I didn't do with Kev. Let's see what else we got. And did I skip that donation? If I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, thanks, Spaz Phoenix, man. Thanks for being a goddamn beast. Spaz, you've been carrying the donations a lot this week, so that's appreciated. Where's the other shit? So yeah, despite the staph infection or whatever's going on with Moxley, maybe it's a dick infection. Maybe he's got a penis infection. Who knows? Moxley has been announced to appear live AEW TNT premiere October 2nd in Washington. He'll face Sean Spears the next week in Boston. Hopefully all of that happens. I'm not going to the Boston show. A lot of people still asking me about Boston. I'm not going to go because the tickets were fucking crazy. I mean, I don't know if people flipped them by the time I got to them, but when I went to the ticket prices, I showed you guys the screenshots on Twitter. It was $1,500 for front row, $700 for second row, and that was from Ticketmaster. So, I don't know what the situation is with that, but it was just insane. It was a lot. It was too much money. I mean, the closest seats you could get were, $75 and I was looking for like $40 seats at a decent spot, which is kind of dreaming, you know what I mean? It's kind of a dream. And, you know, I tried to make that dream come true, and it didn't happen. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go there. Despite what Bolin says, that I buy front row tickets, which I don't. I get them sent to me. I don't know anybody in AEW, really, that would fucking... So I'm not gonna go, man. I'm not gonna go. I don't have anybody to comp me tickets in AEW right now, so I'm not gonna go. I may go to the event and like cover it and like stand outside, just make fun of people. You know, I don't know. That could be funny. That could be fun. But other than that, I don't really want to get into that. And plus, Ryback, man, Rybotch has been all over me, dude. He's been all over me, just freaking out all over me. Shut up, Ryback, you bitch. 339-226-6610. The phone lines are open. So if you'd like to call, I now have the phones open for you. 339-226-6610. Danny Deadly is the Skype. DANNY DEADLY. Vince McMahon staying hands off with WWE NXT. That was the news report. We talked about that last night. Fight is not being sold. They're really putting that out there. We are not selling. They're not selling. I don't have a doubt that at some point maybe WWE didn't approach them about, hey, you know, we could buy your thing or have a partnership or whatever. I don't doubt that hasn't happened. But obviously there's nothing being done, you know. It's just probably an inquiry or a feelers, whatever they want to call it. People always talk about feelers. It just sounds like a creepy fucking weird thing to me. Let's just say they reached out to talk about the possibilities, and nothing happened from it. CM Punk reportedly reached out to Fox about WWE and was talking about potentially hosting an episode with WWE. So for everybody that's... Now that I have two theories behind that. The one is that is actually happening, and CM Punk actually reached out to them and is more interested in doing something along the lines of that with AEW than going to AEW. But the other thing behind that could be that, and I know this sounds crazy, but there's a high possibility that CM Punk reached out to Fox and WWE about this hosting gig. One, to drive up a price on AEW, or two, to help AEW push the narrative that he is more likely to go to WWE than AEW. That way he can show up in AEW and it's a bigger surprise. So all the while, he could do both. He could do a one-off hosting gig with WWE while appearing at AEW. Most likely he'll do neither, right? Most likely, knowing Punk, he'll do neither. But we've been talking so heavily about Punk showing up in AEW that a good way to throw people off would be to actually put in some kind of offer towards WWE so it becomes news, and then people start talking about that and confirming it, and then, wow, he's coming to WWE, but then he shows up in AEW. So either way, it could be either thing. 407's on the phone. What's up?
What's up, Joe? It's Robbie Hutt calling.
Robbie, dude, what's going on?
How you doing, man? Yeah, I was listening to you earlier about the commentating with Michael Cole and all that. It's funny that you were talking about that because Raw the other night, I had Raw on, but I found myself, didn't even realize I was doing it at the time. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm even doing this. I was watching YouTube clips of old Raw episodes, like during Raw, because Raw was so fucking boring. And I was just way more interested in old clips with like JR and Jerry, and just, to be honest, so much stuff, as you probably know, was so fucking stupid back in the day. But like JR and Jerry, like Jerry the King Lawler would make me laugh my ass off with stuff, and like, they were like the perfect team. And but nowadays, like you were saying with Michael Cole, everything feels scripted. We all know that. But like, so I want to ask you with NXT, now coming to USA, do you think, and with Cole, like, because I think there were some rumblings about Cole, like, maybe giving way to other people or whatnot, other commentators.
Cole has wanted to. I can tell you, Michael Cole has wanted to step back for about 4 years, and that's not a joke. Absolutely 100% confirmed. I can't tell you by who, but I can, on my kids' lives, Cole for 4 years has wanted out of that chair.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's fucking busy. It sounds awful. I've been screaming in your ear every week. Well, I was going to ask, do you think with NXT going to USA, do you think they might maybe switch some people around, or do you think they're going to keep NXT as is, like with Nigel?
I mean, they've announced the announce team is Nigel, Morrow, and Beth Phoenix, so that is not changing for them. Yeah, they announced it.
Yeah, it's always seems to me Vince. I mean, well, I know Morrow kind of had all that stuff going on with his whatever was going on with him with like JBL or whatever. But it always seems like Vince doesn't want those kind of commentators like on the main show. Like, I'm surprised I mean, I know Nigel's a good fit in NXT, but I would fucking love to listen to Nigel McGuinness, like, because he's just into it. Like, that's the thing, is like, you can, hell, even if you were freaking commentating, like,
yeah, if I wish I was.
I mean, shit, I would, like, it's, you can just tell, like, and that's another thing I was going to ask, like, since you say Michael Cole has wanted out for 4 years, do you feel like you hear that in his voice when he commentates? Or
I really do, man. Like, it's so different. You can tell he's sort of pretending, and Vince is having them say more than they've ever said. So imagine you're like a professional at this. You've been doing this for years, and now Vince is making you say more of this weird shit. And it's like, you've got to be out of your mind at this point. So he wants to train people. He wants to be in the back working as a producer on everything. He doesn't want to be out there anymore. It's it's just too much. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to help new talent and get somebody else out there. But every time he thinks and they think they've got somebody, Vince either doesn't like the guy and says, "Cole, you're all I've got. Please, no, you're not coming back here. I need you out there. I need you out there, Cole. I'll pay you more out there."
Yeah. Yeah, like, well, it kind of makes me think of what CM Punk, when he was on the Cole Cabana podcast, when CM Punk, when he was talking about his exit and whatnot, and how he was talking to Vince about how he said, well, listen, Vince, if you don't put guys in the main event, they're not going to learn how to be main event guys. So it's like, you could say the same for the commentators. If you don't put these guys out there, then they're not going to learn. And it's like it's I don't know. It's just crazy to me. Like, because honestly, if you put 1999, 2000, Jerry the King Lawler, JR in today's Raw and like SmackDown, I'd be into it. Because, I mean, honestly, they were the ones that kept me in it. I mean, besides like the big guys like The Rock, Stone Cold, and whatnot. I mean, a lot of it, I mean, back then, I mean, kind of sucked, but those two kept me in to the show. Like, with, like, I don't know, something Val Venus would be fucking doing, and, like, Jerry would be making jokes, and JR would be, like, freaking out about something. Like, that was what made it entertaining for me, and that's been my main problem with, storylines, of course, have just sucked, but that's the thing. Good commentating can make bad things better,
Absolutely.
So,
it's totally true. And I mean, I've been at indie events where, I mean, I know that if I was calling wrestling in WWE or some other places, one of the biggest criticisms would be like, slow down, Joe. You know what I mean? You're too excited for the beginning. You got to build it up and wait. You know what I mean? I would be too excited. But when people are excited, I've heard other commentators. In fact, Booker T's, I've mentioned this before because I'm sick of putting myself over. It's kind of like fucking cringy. But the guys in Reality of Wrestling, I don't remember which guys they are, but I was listening to Booker T's show, and he had his Reality of Wrestling show happening live on YouTube, and he had 2 commentators, and these guys nailed it. They were so goddamn good. I was actually angry because I've been listening to announcers all over the place, everywhere, wrestling announcers and whatever else, commentators, and obviously I do independent commentary. So I'm like, I consider myself like, I mean, I'm like, I think I'm one of the top guys out there. I think JD's one of the top guys out there. I think, and I'm like, and there's a couple other guys too out there that I think are really good too. But then there's just a shitload of guys that I think are horrible, and I'm like, well, they'll never get anywhere. And then I heard Booker T's Reality of Wrestling crew, and I was like, damn, these guys are fucking awesome. Like, these guys are great. Yeah. And I don't know who they are. I forget their names. I wish I knew them. But Booker T, if you ever see this, or if anybody wants to clip this and send this to Booker T, I don't know who you have working commentary, but I've been doing it 11 years, and those guys are good. They are working really well. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to go to Ring of Honor, NXT, wherever, but they are really good. They're not like anybody else. I mean, House of Hardcore has announcers that are garbage. Like, they have had some awful announcers at Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. Meanwhile, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, top notch. So good.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I feel like I've been kind of seeing some stuff like on YouTube or wherever. I haven't watched anything personally, but I feel like I have seen some stuff. And that just goes to show, like, and this is just like anything in life. Like, if you really enjoy what you do and you're passionate about it, like, I'm not trying to put myself over here, but I'm a second grade teacher. I think I've told you I deliver for Domino's. That's a second job of mine. But my full-time job is I'm a teacher.
Right.
And you can just tell when a teacher is not into something. And students will be more into something that is being taught when the teacher shows enthusiasm for it. And I remember same thing for commentating.
I taught a computer class when I was in when I was working for when I was working for career development. I would help people, get jobs, or who are coming back into the workplace or whatever. And a lot of them didn't have basic computer skills. And so I would start from the beginning about computers and like what's going on and like what's and how you can use everything. And like I just loved that. Like I loved doing it. And people told me afterwards, they were like, "Damn, that was like better than like anything else I've ever done." And I'm like, I've never done this before. I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's fun to like see why the hell, like it's exciting when you get 10 adults who at the time I was 25 or 24 or something, I forget. I was 23, I don't know. It's exciting when I see 10 adults just left a room and now, or after weeks, and now they know how to do things on the computer they didn't know how to do. I'm like, everyone's coming out knowing how to do this. Like, and it's going to be fun. But you're right. I've had teachers too where certainly there's a lot of good teachers. There's a lot of bad teachers. Then there's those like really epic teachers that really got through to you. But then there's a couple like really bad teachers. And yeah, they're just looking at the book and they're running down like, yeah, look at page 64. Okay, the test is Tuesday. Okay. And they just go by the numbers. That's it. They never get involved or like try to reach out to anybody or try to think of a different way to teach or anything. They're not proactive about it. They're just like, oh, I'm going to get my 40 grand this year and here's the fucking, or 30 grand or whatever they're paying. They don't pay teachers enough. That's fucking really the problem. But
I can obviously talk for a while about that.
You're working at Domino's. That's bullshit. Like anybody that's teaching our kids how to grow up shouldn't be working a second job. Not that there's anything wrong with that because I worked at Domino's as well. But it's like, that's just bullshit. Like I hate that. Irritates me. Great. And you know what too? The other people that say like, oh, you don't like. Then what happens is people start coming out talking about all the bad teachers. They go, oh, why do they deserve that? Like look at all the scores and look at these teachers and whatever. And it's like, dude, nobody's motivated. You're allowing people into the field who don't really want to be teachers who didn't have anything else to do. But if you actually had a real salary, people would actually want to train to become teachers instead of they're doing something else making way more money. They're doing shit like in an engineering field or somewhere. Why the hell would they drop back into being teachers? So you're getting, Phil Jones, who didn't want to be a teacher in a job. Right. It's the same thing with cops.
And sorry, go.
No, it's just the same thing with cops. You see a lot of cops who are great cops. They want to do a good job, but then you get the other half of them that are just there because they didn't know what else to do, and then you can tell.
Oh, I agree, and it's also a vicious cycle at the same time, because teachers who have been doing it for a long time, they, old women, whatever, they're going through fucking menopause and whatever shit, but they start fucking complaining about everything, and all these younger teachers coming in, these older women and older people are like, oh, this job, you don't want to be a teacher, what are you doing here? And it's like, it's just a vicious cycle all the way around, and something needs to happen, because it's not even just the pay. It's just, of course, it's, pay could be better. It has gotten better.
Yeah.
They have done some things to, make it a little better. I'm making around 44 now, whereas, 10 years ago it was like, mid 30s. But,
but now the inflation's gone up that far anyway. So you're just keeping up with it.
Yeah, exactly. So, we do obviously have good benefits and whatnot, but it's just luckily I'm at actually a pretty decent school. Like it's a pretty good ship that's being run, but other schools, it's just run poorly. There's just no one knows what the fuck they're doing. Like, no one knows how to communicate with each other. Everyone in the district offices are miscommunicating information or whatever, and no one knows what the fuck's going on. So everyone starts, it's just, bullshit and hell. Like, in a lot of, I'm in Orlando, so, there's a lot of fucking schools around here, and there's a lot of bad ones. So a lot of them are just poorly run. And so, it's going to decrease morale among teachers. It's whatever, and so, yeah. And that's the same thing with wrestling. And, I feel like all the time we were going through that little period there where, like, everyone was just quitting, and it just goes, if district offices are in, teaching, are not run right, the schools aren't going to run right. And the same thing in WWE or, whatever, if the top is not right, then it's going to trickle down, and morale's going to be low. Everything's going to be fucking stupid. And so
it feels like it's all connected. It feels like everything in life, like it's weird. Wrestling has this weird way of reflecting what's going on everywhere. It really feels that way.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
so
man,
I just want to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go.
No, you got
it.
it.
Yeah, I was, I got to get out of here, but I was going to ask you kind of like a fun question.
Yeah.
So if you were running Raw and SmackDown, so you got both shows, who is your dream commentary team? It could be anyone anyone that's in the business of wrestling, indies, whatever. 2 dream team commentary teams for today's Raw and SmackDown.
Oh man, I think they've kind of got them. I want to do it, but no, I would go with Morrow. I would have Morrow and Nigel up there, to be honest. I'd put Morrow, Nigel, and if you're talking about like all time, like I don't want JR. If you're talking about like all time, like bring back Gorilla Monsoon, that type of thing.
Not more today.
Just
more
who's
like
available.
Kinda,
yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I'd probably go with Morrow, Nigel.
He's working today.
Yeah, I'd go with Morrow, Nigel, and then I'd probably throw in. I'd want to throw in somebody who is like a heel. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's can be like kind of like Corey Graves, but isn't a tweener, I guess. But
yeah, that's the one thing about Corey Graves. It's like it's weird with him because like he makes me laugh my ass off sometimes, and then there's times where it's like he sticks up for someone or something. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Just pick a fucking side. Jesus.
I'm gonna put Cornette in there. I would say Morrow, Nigel, and Jim Cornette all on the announce team together.
Cornette would. Oh my God. Jesus.
Because then Cornette could be this guy who's like speaking for the older audience and stuff. Like Ricochet does like some kind of crazy ass thing off the ladder, and they could be like Mauro Ranaldo's like, my God, he might be just broken. Nigel, he's broken in half across that ladder. Oh, Mauro, he's definitely, absolutely taken out his opponent. And then Jim Cornette would just come and be like, he's an idiot. He just hurt himself more than his opponent. He's an idiot. And then fucking Nigel's just like, well, you gotta do what you gotta do, Jim, to win the match, And Morrow's like, it was incredible, and now the belt is hanging. Like, and dude, the dynamic there, I love the idea of the dynamic.
It's
hire them, Vince.
I didn't even think about that with the little British voice.
I'm putting
over. Like fucking Vince. Vince would probably fucking like mess with Nigel and like make him like he would make him like the Byron Saxton. Honestly,
probably
of like SmackDown. He would make him fucking stupid.
No, it's true. But you know what? You could put Cornette on NXT too. But I get it. You know, Beth Phoenix is all right. But I just think about this dynamic of Cornette being like, now what in the hell was the point? You know, that type of thing where he's just always cynical about everything going on. I'd be like, Jim, try to be cynical about everything, but then bring it back to being a sports guy, kind of like how King used to do it a little bit. That would be great. I mean, Heenan, if Bobby Heenan was alive, I'd always put Heenan out there. But
I mean, honestly, I'd really like to see. I mean, it may sound ridiculous, but Michael Cole fucking irritates the shit out of me. But I'd be really interested in just seeing a Michael Cole, Corey Graves, those two. Like, just see how those two could bounce off of each other. It's Renee. I mean, I respect the hell out of her. I mean, she said herself, you know, she knows she's not, you know, the best, but you know, it's a job and that's what she's trying to do. But like, I can't stand the fucking sound effects. It's like you're watching, you just hear, oh, and it's like, shut the fuck up, Renee. Like, Jesus. Like, I guess, like, I would really like to see what a Michael Cole, Corey Graves could do, you know, kind of like how Michael Cole and Taz were back in the day. You know, I think, because those two were pretty decent on SmackDown.
Yeah,
but I will say this.
Never liked Cole, but that was the best Cole ever was when Taz was there. It's true.
Yeah, I liked that, and you know, for a while there, I didn't watch wrestling for about 10 years. After, you know, I was like 12 when The Rock, I think, left, when he lost to Brock Lesnar. That's when I kind of stopped. But we're really, like, I kind of started paying attention around the Daniel Bryan time, you know, WrestleMania 30, kind of seeing what was going on. Because my friend Alex, he had WrestleMania tickets to that, and he was like telling, because we used to like wrestling when we were kids. He's like, oh, I'm going to fucking WrestleMania. I'm like, oh shit, let me see what's going on with fucking wrestling these days. But what really brought me back into wrestling, like, fully, was fucking Mauro Ranallo. He was the one, like, I was so, like, interested in wrestling because of him. Like, this guy sounds awesome. This is like the closest thing we've had to JR. And it was so infuriating to me when all that shit about JBL or whatever the hell was going on. I was like, how do you, as a company, how do you ruin this? Like, how do you, like, it was such a good thing. That put SmackDown on the map.
Came down to Vince didn't really like Mauro, and then they started kind of, like you said, sort of giving him crap. And it was just like, he was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And it's too bad because that was the guy, and I don't think they really realized that. I'm going to let you go, man, but great. I think I had great call, man. That was sick.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. All right, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for teaching the kids. I got to send my kids. All my kids are going back to school.
Oh, shit. Yeah, get ready, man. Get ready.
All right, thanks.
See you.
Good shit, man. Good call, bro.
Give me a hell yeah!
Gotta pay the bills.
Hey Joe, one of Reality of Wrestling's commentators is Brad Gilmore. Brad's great and also does weekly re-recaps of the movie Trivia Schmodown that I watch and love, and Booker does pick segments for matches when he can.
Really?
Breaking news. Seth and Becky engaged.
Oh my god, they really got engaged already? What the hell? What is wrong with these people? Haskell 420, thank you, Haskell. Well, Gilmore's good then, I believe.
Give me a hell yeah!
Thank you, Haskell. Jesus.
Joe, Booker got involved in a few Schmodown angles. 2 months ago they had a live event at his Booker T World Arena. Booker got involved and one of the competitors got hit with a chair, lol. 100% legit movie trivia with a touch of WWE-like storylines.
Wow. Yeah, I saw some of that. I really have enjoyed Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. I think Booker T's Reality of Wrestling has been one of the best, like, I don't know, one of the best sort of indie, under the card, underground promotions, if you can call it underground. I mean, it's just whatever. It's a hidden gem, I think. I think there's times where, you know, nothing's going on for sure, and like it's not the best, but there's a lot of times where you're watching Booker T's Reality of Wrestling and you're like, this is fun. Really, really, really wish I could be out there. Yeah, Vince and Jesse would be great. You know, there's fucking... What a oh my god, a clothesline across the jaw! And he's down on the canvas.
Well, Vince, you know what he did? Vince, he nearly broke his arm off. You know, Vince, I was a Navy SEAL. Really? Well, that's great. We're having a wrestling match here, Jesse. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, what I'm trying to say to you is I was a Navy SEAL. If I was in the ring, I would have broken his arm and snapped it damn near off. Well, that's great, Jesse, but we got to get back to the match. Oh, what a clothesline! What a maneuver! It really was a maneuver, Vince, but let me tell you something. If I was in the match, I would have snapped his leg into 2 pieces. Like, these fucking guys, those guys were great, too. I love Jesse and Vince McMahon. Jesse should have ran for president, man. I would have voted for Jesse. You know, I would have voted for Jesse Ventura had he run for president. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I want to remind everybody that right now on Patreon, everybody who's in the VIP spot, there is in the $10 VIP spot, there is a new podcast available with Tommy, me, and Jesse J. It's available. It's over an hour long. Check it out and enjoy. Speaking of enjoying, no, I'm just kidding. 201's on the phone. What's up, 201?
Hey, Joe. What's up? What's going on?
What's it? No, nothing much, really. What's up?
Yeah, it's the first time I'm calling this show. I actually go by ENT Hooligans on my YouTube. You've seen me very seldomly. I've donated maybe once. I believe it was sometime last week, and only sent one chat message. But I do listen to your show as faithfully as I can, and I've definitely been enjoying your content. I do want to get into something regarding the last phone call that you had, and it more or less, again, has to deal with commentary and wrestling.
Yeah.
And so let me just tell you a fact about myself. I am visually impaired. So when you talk about commentary or anything that relates to, say, audio and what have you, it really resonates with me, be it that a lot of my reliability is on my ears, right, my hearing.
Right.
And so as I'm watching Raw this past week, listen, to me, it was very refreshing not to have Corey Graves on the commentary team, because I feel that a lot of these instances in which he starts bickering back and forth with either Renee Young or at times Michael Cole, it not only takes away from it, but I think
fake.
that
Sounds
the
fake.
best way for me to... Go ahead, Joe.
No, doesn't it sound fake to you? It sounds like, it's like, here we go, this is like a fake thing they're doing now.
Absolutely. Not only that, one of the best ways for me to describe it is like nails on a chalkboard. You know, that how irritant that could be. Like,
well,
you know, like, oh, man.
The thing about it is, before Graves was here, we all were like, put Graves up there so he can, like, break up this robot announce team. And then they put him up here, but the problem is exactly what you're saying, which is, yes, I like Graves, but there's this side of him that's so... And, dude, he's even snickering when he does it. And
bro, he sounds like a whiny bitch.
But he's whining and he's complaining, but he's also smiling about it a little bit. And it's like, you're laughing at the idea that this is so ridiculous, you're bickering. Whereas when when Bobby Heenan did this, he felt for real. Like, you were like, he's really like, he's actually funny because he's ridiculous.
You know something, Joe? When Heenan passed away, I know I was amongst one of many who shed tears for him, because he's someone that I grew up watching as well. I'm 35 years old, by the way, and I've been watching wrestling since I was, give or take, 4 years old, you know, and it was so difficult to, not only the fact that he passed away, but also what led to it, and seeing the state that he was in health-wise, and it was such a terrible blow and a terrible loss for the wrestling community. And he's someone who, it's crazy, because when I was, say, around 6, 7, 8 years old, I necessarily wasn't in the Hulk Hogan bandwagon. I was more so Macho Man Randy Savage camp. I enjoyed the hell out of Ric Flair. I enjoyed Bobby Heenan. And what strikes me funny is that looking at that now, right? Back when I was a child, I never understood what drew me to heel personas and you know, people like the people that I just mentioned. And now that I go back and I examine Bobby Heenan's work, or Ric Flair, or anyone, right, that had such a voice, such a heavy persona on screen, it's like, wow, I'm so damn happy that I get it. I understand it. I know why it resonated with me, even when I was a child who didn't necessarily understand everything, right, Joe? And I'm just so happy to have had the opportunity to hear Bobby Heenan on commentary, to hear his back and forth with Gorilla Monsoon. But when I hear this crap nowadays, it's I don't know if it's more so a case of it infuriating me or making me sad, right? Because again, and as someone who doesn't necessarily have full function of vision, I rely a lot on what's going on in the ring, and I rely a lot on that play-by-play feedback, right?
Right.
And luckily, I've been watching this long enough to know, yes, a little something for you here. I have pretty much, if I'm watching a show, I can pinpoint, even if a move isn't spoken or called out, I can pretty much tell what it is by the impact of the ring or lack thereof impact. So I could pretty much know what's going on. I've been to plenty of wrestling events live and stuff, and you know, one thing to take in as well is I use the word I watched, I see, because even if there is someone out there who struggles with vision loss or whatever, I think there's more than one way to see things, right? Seeing isn't necessarily, it shouldn't be something that we limit only to the eyes.
Yeah,
you know
when
what I mean,
you say,
Joe?
I've said I see what you're saying to a lot of people. It just means you're understanding what's happening. That's all it means. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and you know, I got a question though. What do you feel in terms of AEW's commentary in regards to Tony Schiavone possibly being, or is he confirmed for AEW? Like, what role will he have? Do you feel that he's going to be in the commentary team? And also, I heard something about, what is the individual that was at Fyter Fest?
Oh, the gaming guy, the gaming announcer?
Yeah. What's his name?
Yeah, so I forget. I can't think of his name right now. It's like Golden something or something or other. But
Golden Boy.
Golden Boy. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's actually hired as the third commentator, I believe.
Really?
I believe so. If he's not the third commentator, he'll be like the backstage interviewer. And I'm sure Tony Schiavone's brought on as like a alternate commentator as well. I don't yet know the official announced team. But like I assume that, you know, Golden Boy, backstage announce team, and you have a few females who are going to be in the back, and now you have Schiavone. What if, you know, JR gets sick or something happens to somebody? You know, you've got 5 guys now who can roll around there. So like that's understandable to me. I don't mind Tony Schiavone.
I prefer him over JR nowadays. I've seen his stuff on
MLW.
Major League Wrestling. I think it's leaps and bounds ahead of JR at this point where we're at, right?
Yeah, it feels disconnected with the guys, JR and the mask guy and the other, whoever else they put on there.
Excalibur?
Yeah, Excalibur. Yeah, it's a little bit. I like Excalibur kind of if he's like the third guy calling out moves that maybe the other announcer doesn't know. But I don't like. But there needs to be a solid second guy or number one guy. There needs to be a solid number one guy. Excalibur calling out some moves is okay and describing some things that maybe we don't know about. And then maybe having a third guy in for information or as a heel would be nice. But so far that third guy hasn't been very good. And Excalibur, I think, talks. Him and JR have this sort of back and forth that's uncomfortable. I don't know who's taking the lead, and it's confusing to me. It's awkward. It's not syncing up.
Yeah. Excalibur had a great showing, though, when he was with Golden Boy, I feel.
Yeah, he was better. Yeah, that's true. He was better with Golden. Because I think they don't know. I think he doesn't want to step on JR's toes, and then JR doesn't want to step on his toes, and then sometimes they're not sure when JR doesn't know something or when he's backing
They're
off.
so damn cautious that it hurts, right?
Yeah. They need to here's the deal. Go, guys. Come on. You guys own this. What's going on? And they need that. And they need to be clear when they go to a break, and they cut to because you're sitting there maybe not watching now. Okay, they cut away from the wrestling. 3 announcers are there. You're going to go now pee or do something on your computer for the people. And to be like, okay, so I guess folks, we're gonna delay here for a few. And then they don't really say anything. It's like start building on things right away. Be ready to go, even though you have no direction. Just say, well, folks, we're gonna take some time here to tell you about what's been going on. We got so much coming up. But what just happened with Cody Rhodes and Ty Dillinger or Sean Spears? Why would Sean Spears attack Cody Rhodes, who basically got him into this company? Is there something that's going on in the back that we're not aware of? And instead, they just kind of sat there bewildered in not telling us anything. And I don't know, that bothered me. I got to let you go, man. That was a great call. I hope you call back. Please do.
Joe, thank you so much, buddy, for taking my call, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for calling.
Okay, buddy.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for telling me that, too, man. And shout out to all the people out there who has to deal with that. I know there's a lot of vision-impaired people, who have to deal with vision problems or issues trying to see certain things on the TV. I know there's a lot of vision-impaired and people like that who listen to my show, especially because the podcasting thing, a lot of the podcasts I do or whatever, that people listen that way. So it's a big thing. I definitely get that. That being said, I think we're done here with wrestling. Jon Moxley has some kind of staph infection that they're watching, that he's having to take care of. CM Punk reached out to WWE and Fox about being a guest. Is that a work of some kind or a troll to get the attention off of AEW for when he debuts there? Or is he really going to do that? Or will he do both? Or will he do neither? I would say 70% he does neither, and then I'm 20% sure he'll be in AEW and 10% the WWE thing. I really will be shocked if I see him in WWE. If I see CM Punk in WWE in 2019, I'll be very, very shocked. If I see him in AEW, I'll be pretty... I won't be shocked about that, but I will mark out over it, even though I'm not even the biggest CM Punk guy. He basically said fuck everybody and went and did his own thing. But it's going to be exciting for wrestling fans to have a guy and a name like CM Punk if he shows up in AEW. But pretty soon he's not going to be... This lore of CM Punk is going to start to fade away a little bit, But what I don't like is, Jake DeMarco being attacked on Twitter like crazy when the guy is throwing up blood, going to the doctors, and now he's going to be screamed at and yelled at, all because some random dude that he follows, because the guy followed him days ago or something. He doesn't know. He just follows everybody a lot of times. Gets berated on Twitter. All because some guy goes after somebody else calling them something on YouTube. But then Jake is blamed for following the guy. What the fuck does that matter? How many people do you follow that's a scumbag? It's that fucking irritates me. This guy's at the hospital right now, dealing with his fucking blood clot shit or whatever. And he's got to deal with... I told him to make a video, and he's like, I can't make a video. I'm at the fucking doctor's. What the fuck is going on? And he's getting just hammered all over Twitter. Over what? Because some guy said the same thing that people fucking attack Jake DeMarco's children and make Twitter accounts about his daughter. All right? They attack Jake's daughter. And they follow JD. But we don't say anything about that. So why, when someone does something to you, do you blame me and Jake? And especially Jake. What the fuck? Dude, it's irritating. And I'm going to talk about it tonight on Thursday Night Throwdown. Over on my other YouTube channel, Corrupted Nation. And I'm really pissed off. And I mean, listen, I don't even know what to tell you anymore. I have no idea what to tell you. I don't want nothing to do with this shit. But I'm not going to be blamed for something I didn't do. Bullshit if I'll be blamed for something I didn't do because you have trolls. Everybody has trolls. Everybody has major trolls on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever. If you can't deal with trolls, you need to end yourself or get the hell out of here. I'm constantly attacked. Constantly. Every day. Constantly. And now you gotta now when someone else gets attacked, I have to be slandered when someone else gets attacked. Slander me when someone else gets attacked. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm really pissed off, man. Especially about Jake DeMarco being attacked. Over nothing. Really pissed off. Tonight, Thursday Night Throwdown starts around 10, maybe 10:15, but about 10 on Corrupted Nation. I will see you guys there tonight. Thanks to the people who dropped a couple super chats and donations and all the people who tried to call in. I'm sorry. We'll get to you potentially again tomorrow. Tomorrow is also Monetize This. And I will see you over on Throwdown. I'm out of here. Let's hit him with that S.Dollar.
JCS for me.
Joe, if you're listening, you stupid fuck.
Joe Cronin. Like, I could care less.
JCS, no. You don't wanna with us, homie. Trust me, you don't really wanna, homie. JCS. And I know I'm monetized this and throw down bitch. JCS. It's the JCS show. Shout out to my JCS psycho. JCS. Shout out to OK Fabe. Leah and my man Jake DeMarco. JCS. No pussies allowed. We scream it and we say it proud. JCS.
Available on Patreon right now is a podcast with Tommy, me, and Jesse. The Honestly Podcast plus Jesse. Available right now on Patreon in the VIP section.
Piece of shit that tried to test, got laid the rest. What you thought? The man Joe Cronin go hard. Trust me, homie, we ain't worried about none of you retards. All these fat fucks wanna talk, they'll get cut. I ain't playing with your homies, fuck you faggots, and your wives are all sluts. I don't give a fuck, my nigga, come and test this. Me and the almighty Joe will eat you up for breakfast. JCS. No, you don't want it with us, homie. Trust me, you don't really want it, homie. JCS. And I know I'm monetized this and throw down bitch. JCS. It's the JCS show. Shout out to my JCS psycho. JCS. Shout out to OK Fabe. Leah and my man Jake DeMarco. JCS. No pussies allowed. We scream it and we say it proud. JCS. To my man Joe Cronin, keep it rockin', keep it rollin'. And to every hater that ever ran his mouth, you can take our middle finger, take it and jam it down south. This whole fucking community, they know what we about. So when we talkin', homie, take a seat and please shut your mouth. Joe Cronin, whipping the whip is the stolen, hanging out the window screaming, fuck that bitch, Kenny Bowlin'. And to any bitch wanna put dirt all on our name, listen, suck a fat dick and I hope you choke all on into my mind. Anybody want it, they can get it, yeah, just know that. Me and Joe will stick you up, say cheese, Kodak. Ride around strapped like some lunatics, roll that. And we don't give a fuck about your ass, you can quote that. JCS, no, we the best motherfucker, who the fuck you tryna test, huh? JCS, bitch, all these punks playing checkers while we're playing chess. JCS, yeah, fuck around, get bodied and laid out on your deck. JCS, it's S-Dot, motherfucker, I'm a JCS vet. JCS, no, you don't want it with us, homie, trust me, you don't really want it, homie. JCS, and I know I'm monetized this and throw down bitch. JCS, it's the JCS show, shout out to my JCS psycho. JCS, shout out to OK Fabe, Leah and my man Jake DeMarco. Listen, homie, I ain't playing with you suckers, get you slipping on my dump, I hope clip on you motherfuckers. Always riding with you burners, cocksuckers. Talk on my name, I'ma show you how I'm a blunder. Make it the hot summer, shitting on you is a bummer. But when you see me, know it's me, hopping up the Hummer. S-Style, homie, all you faggots better recognize. Or I'll come through, me and Joe, and we terrorize.